Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky. I am a living Christ. I wish to speak to you this evening about the coming changes in our world. And it is of the utmost importance that you awaken to who you truly are. So far, you have not. And the appearances of the day indicate that you will not wake up. As a result of that, millions of you will perish. Millions. I'm speaking worldwide now. You see, you have been traumatized. You have been civilized. You have been mind controlled. You have lost your ability to remain balanced human beings. The God of your own destiny. Yes, you have been misled by religions. They projected a thought into you through words. That's what mind control is all about. The media is an example of that. You get your news of what's going on in the world through the media. And what is that news? Words. Self-fulfilling prophecies are nothing more than behavior patterns based in thought that are made manifest by action, group action, group think. No greater way is there to destroy the sovereignty of mankind than that of groupthink. The ability to relinquish responsibility for your life, to become dependent, to be like children, to rely upon an image, a fictional image conjured up in your own satanic ruled intellectual mind. You have lost sight of your subconscious mind. It has been ignored. In lieu of adapting the illusions of the conscious intellect, the trained intellect, the educated intellect, the institutionalized intellect, you have been made illusory tentacles of an institution, living tentacles. And you believe that that is your destiny. Well, it is for most of you. You're in hell. And the hell of the institution needs its tentacles, its people, its persons. Because they're no longer people. They've given that up to join the fiction. You're born into this world living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient children of God. God. You are the God. You understand? It's just a matter of words, of indicating a secondary, imaginary status. You worship an idea. You worship a word. You have been trained to worship words, and you are rewarded and you are punished if you abide by it or if you go your own way. That's the problem that faces most children, the daydreamers, in class, who are distracted because they realize what's being done to them, but they're not equipped to deal with it decisively. They're children, after all. But they grow up, and they're seduced, and they're rewarded if they are good children, good students. They are given diplomas. They are given awards. They are made to be officers of their classes to keep other people under tow, to belong, to obey the rules, the concepts that govern the restricted thought pattern of a belief system. You find that in government. You find that in religion. Now, what has happened to all these so-called good students, good citizens? They're being destroyed. That's their reward for being good, obedient automatons. They're being destroyed. How? Every way possible. Your air that you breathe is polluted. The food that you eat is poisoned. The water that you drink is being poisoned. Food, air, water. The sustenance of life itself is being destroyed. You have fires that are occurring from direct energy weapons. And they're being blamed, of course, on arsonists. Nonsense. The forests, the trees that require the purifying of our air are being destroyed by fires. You don't get it. You believe. You've been trained to believe. You've been trained to obey what you believe. And look at your world. You're facing a present pandemic of words. Words. Is there a cold? Such a thing as a cold? Such a thing as a flu? Well, of course there is. However, the words which describe this flu, this cold, this disease that has a 99% survival rate, unless it is affected or tied to old age frailties of cardiac problems, pulmonary problems. You see, high blood pressure because of the food that we eat. Everything is being promoted to destroy you. It's called technology. And you believe it because it's intellectual. It promises you a better tomorrow. But what does it deliver? at the wars. Since man has been civilized, you have had wars. Why? Because man has been split in his conscious intellect through education, through satanic mind control. That's what it is. Call it what it is. Give it its real name, its real title, its real word. Satanic mind control. That's what intellectual acumen has turned out to be. We live according to ideas of our own minds, not knowing how we have accumulated these ideas. It's so normal. You've been so dumbed down, so acceptable to suggestion, hypnotic suggestion, satanic hypnotic suggestion, and you call it civilized. And you add the word bliss, positive imagery. Well, you can't cover up everything with positive imagery and call it truth. Truth is what is. Now, I understand that the powers, the satanic powers that govern your minds, don't want me to be known about by you. Because if you did, you may doubt what's been happening to you all your life. The mental problems that permeate society, the drug addiction problems, the suicides, the unhappiness, the unbalance. I'm the antithesis of all that. But I'm mortal and immortal at the same time. I'm not my body. I understand that. You don't. I'm not my mind. The I is an ego, an accumulation of thought. And for you, that is the center of your life. You look through the eye of the ego, the controller, and you want to control life. But you see, you are that life itself, and the ego is merely part of it. You've got it all bass-backward. You are believing in an illusion you call ego. Ego is part of the whole. When one looks through the subconscious, non-dualistic mind, all that is seen is the whole, the holy. That's what holy is all about. Understand? It's been contaminated with religious thought and made to be something else. You've been lured down the garden path, and everything is loving, dancing, singing. Life is wonderful. Now open your eyes, and what do you see? You understand? You look through conditioned eyes, and that's the problem. It splits you, it divides you from others who have other different belief systems that take them away from the oneness that is life itself, the truth. I bring you that truth. That is the power of this living Christ, that those who control your minds don't want you to be exposed to. They tried to destroy me. They tried to ban me. They tried to put me in prison for 40 years. They've written fictional autobiographies about me that bear nothing of the truth of this living Christ's past life, past incarnation, this incarnation. Understand? I'm still a work in progress. And they're doing their damnedest to stop you from understanding what a true, living, breathing, flesh and blood man, a God of his own destiny, looks like. Because as I am, so are you. I am a living Christ, but so are you. But you're all Christs, suffering from amnesia. You've forgotten who you are, and you've adopted a false ego, satanically ruled ego, that finds nothing but conflict, aggression, and violence to express yourself. And then you make excuses for it. The false flags. You blame another, a projection of your own mind, as being responsible for the very actions that you promote yourself. You protesters out there. Fine line between protesting and rioting, isn't it? And how does that happen? You salt protesters with rioters. And the rioters become the leaders of the protest. The BLM, the Antifa. Do you think it's an accident that they are found in every protest of violence going on in our country? It's all planned. And you're dumb enough to buy it. Now, you may be offended by what this living Christ says, and you may be utterly sick of hearing it. How else are you going to wake up? I have called for boycott. Boycott of satanic government and satanic religion. Do you understand? Boycott. Don't vote, don't support, don't supply them with your life energy through money. It's all a scam, a satanic scam. But you don't want to hear that. And they don't want you to hear that. That's why my videos are controlled by the view numbers. They want you to believe that what I'm saying is of such non-importance that no one is concerned with it. There are millions and millions of people who need to hear what I'm saying, who need to look deeply within themselves and determine whether or not I am telling you the truth. Understand? I am the truth, the life, and the way. I'm no different than was Jesus of Nazareth. The simple man of truth. And we are many, and many of those have gone nameless to you. But you know Jesus, fine. He's been satanically promoted. the very organizations that control your minds from childhood until you die. The religions here in the Western culture. And of course, there are other religions in other parts of the world that are in conflict, but they speak of, of one God. That God is you. We are one. You can't grasp that. To you, there is the you and the not you. Duality. That's your world. That's civilized world. Understand? You're split. You're divided. You're in conflict. You're in confusion. That's the evidence of a dualistic intellect. That's the evidence of hell on earth. Now, one thing that you cannot deny, that I upset you all. I upset the hell out of you because that's what's in you. Hell. And the truth of my words spotlight that hell, which cannot be denied, which cannot be argued with. So, you avoid what I have to say. Or the videos are kept from you and given a certain number, which makes up your mind as to whether you're going to watch them or not. You damn well better start watching my videos, because they are the salvation promised. Second coming of Christ consciousness that wills. Replace the satanic consciousness that now rules you. There's going to be a financial collapse. Inevitable. You can't stop it. Why? Because it's all dead. It's all a fiction. It's predictable. It operates in cycles. Cycles of what? Cycles of your conditioned thought. And so there is some prediction that can be made of occurrences because they're dead and they keep repeating themselves. There is no life in that which repeats itself. There is only the conjuring up of the fiction that was and is and shall be. That's mind control. You've got an election coming up here in the United States in next month. Your vote. You understand that without your vote, the satanic institution cannot function, because you're the living and they're the dead. And they must rely upon confusing you to the point where the tables are turned and you believe that they are your leaders. They make you doubt yourself. And so you vote for a leader, another man. What has these men brought you? Look at your life. It doesn't matter how long you have lived. Look at the span of your life and tell me what civilized society has done for you. Have you ever been free of war? Have you ever been free of crime? Have you ever been free of mental instability? Mental instability, what is that? That can only occur with a divided intellect, something that is not whole. That which is whole is what is, nothing else. If it can be changed into something else, it is an idea, a concept, a rule, a law, a fiction. And you're all living in that fiction. And you're all waiting until the bottom drops out of the financial system. What is that? It's a money system. It's also an idea that you have in your mind. And that idea is the symbol of your energy, your life energy. It makes up the leaders and the led, the masters and the slaves, the executives and the field workers. For those of you who seek out a job, you hold your hand out, you beg, please, give me money and I will do whatever you want me to do for that money. And they create a job for you. And they print up money. Print up money out of paper, out of nothing. And they give it to you in return for your energy that they strip away from you. The amount of energy that you serve the system with. That's what you're doing. That's the reality of your life. They're wearing you out until you can no longer work. You're injured, or you're tired, or old age takes over. Well, by the way, I'm 83 years old. Now, how many 83-year-old people do you know who have the awareness, who have the energy, the life, the spark that this 83-year-old has? Now, am I healthy? Not by a long shot. I'm suffering from all of the frailties. Heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetes. But is my mind affected? I've already told you that I'm not my body, and I'm not my mind. I have been hospitalized many times, and they have been interesting experiences because I have never felt pain whatsoever. I just watched what was going on with the body and with the mind dispassionately. The latest was a stroke about 5 weeks ago, or about 5 months ago, I should say. A damaging stroke. It's left some signs of debility that I'll not recover, but that's the body. It's not me. And that's not the mind either. I am the eternal spirit of what is. I am the truth, the life, and the way. I am the God of my life. And my life is your life, for we are one. But you have been trained out of that. Well, I have survived all of the assaults, the satanic assaults of education have changed most of you. I'm the one that got away. And I'm 83 years old. And as you can see, I'm not some bumbling fool. But most of you can't even speak. You're emotional. You're unstable. You're drugged up. You're addicted to pharmaceutical additives, not unlike the street pusher. However, they're called pharmacy, and therefore they're legitimate. That's how dumb you are. Now, the election's coming. I'm asking for your vote. How many of you are dumb enough to give them your life energy to continue to break down this system to a collapse, change the money system into a cashless society where they have control over everything? Tracked. No cash. And you're going to give them that. You, the creator of that satanic institution. How'd you get that way? That's the source of my more than 650 videos that you will find on YouTube. But if you go to YouTube, you'll not find that many videos. They have maybe 5 or 10, maybe going for a month. But for the past year, all my YouTube videos are limited to double-digit numbers. And the content of those videos are the same as the content in this video. And you tell me whether I speak nonsense. I speak opinion. Understand? I speak truth. There's not a damn thing you can do about it but get your feelings hurt because you feel insulted. You have judged yourself to be less than I. And you feel that I'm talking down to you. For me to be talking down to you, you must be seeing me as above you. You understand? And that brings out your resentment. Why? Because you're unbalanced. You're ignorant of who you truly are. You see, you and I, in essence and truth, are one and the same. That's why my words hurt your feelings. You can't ignore them. You can't set them aside. You can't argue them. That's been tried for 25 years and hasn't worked. It continues to go on. That's how dumb all those who want to argue with this living Christ are. To keep doing the same thing over, expecting a different result. That's insanity. That's stupidity. So, if you can't handle a living Christ who's experienced a stroke, who has been hampered by that physical stroke, and you still can't handle him, what does that say about you? Meditate on that one.